Good.
Okay, hey everybody, this is Kevin Flowers, staff reporter with the Erie Times News. We're here at City Hall with Mayor Joe Schember, and we're going to talk a little bit about fireworks.
Yes.
Something that's on everybody's mind this time of year. There's a huge event planned for the city, and we also want to talk about fireworks in neighborhoods a little bit, and how
Absolutely.
some of the rules and regulations for that. But
Yes.
why don't you talk a little bit, Mayor, about the Lights Over Lake Erie event?
We're really excited about partnering with Mercyhurst University, and I want to thank them for providing the funding for this. There's no cost to the city to put this event on. It's going to be wonderful. And I was just blown away by the positive reaction we got when we first announced this. It was the most responses we ever had to anything up to that point in time. And people seem really excited, and I'm really happy that we're able to put this on this year.
When you say responses, what do you mean in terms of just enthusiasm? What?
Yes, enthusiasm on Facebook, people responding to, I think we broadcast live the actual press conference where we announced it at the Bicentennial Tower. We got all kinds, I think we had over 1,000 positive responses to that alone. And I knew it would be popular, but I wasn't prepared for it to be quite that popular, to be honest.
What can people expect out of this event?
I think it's going to be a great fireworks display. It starts at 10 p.m. It'll be from Dobbins Landing, the Bicentennial Tower is where it will occur. And so there's a lot of great viewing going to be available both along the bayfront and over at the peninsula, if you think of it. If you go over the peninsula near the Perry Monument area, you should probably have a great view from there as well.
Okay. Why Tuesday? That's a question that we've gotten from a lot of people. Instead of why it's not happening on the 4th.
Actually on the 4th. I've got that question a lot too. And basically, most of us are going to be working on the 6th. I know we at City Hall will be. I think most people at work will be. We thought, why not have it on an evening where you can sleep in the next day, get a good night's rest, and then spend the day with family on July 4th. If we had done it the evening of July 4th, again, most people have to get up the 5th. It doesn't even start till 10. We expect a huge crowd based on the response we've gotten, so you're probably be lucky to get home before midnight. We wanted to let people enjoy it, but then sleep in the next morning.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about the logistics of this in terms of areas where people can park to view this,
Yes.
or what exactly the progression of the event, how it's going to take place?
Yes. There is, earlier that evening, starting around 6:30, is the first 8 Great Tuesdays, and that's a great event too. We're expecting a huge crowd there. The group, the Skyliners, the famous doo-wop group, is performing at this, and you actually could watch it from there, although that might not be the best view, to be honest, because you're over a mile away from Dobbins Landing there, and there's some obstruction along the way. So you may want to move to a better location, maybe along the bayfront. That would be great, of course. Down near the convention center. Actually, the convention center is even going to have some handicap parking available for people that need that. There's a nice walkway right around the convention center you could walk it from, or you could take the Sky Bridge over the Sheraton, go down and go out and watch it right from Dobbins Landing. So that certainly is a good possibility.
We got a comment
Sure.
just real quick. Commenter Robert says, are there going to be extra patrols, or talk a little bit about police or police presence?
Yeah, the police working that evening will be, there'll be extra patrols, and they'll also be doing crossing, because there's going to be a lot of traffic along the bayfront, and we certainly recommend, if you don't need to be on the Bayfront Convention Center drive, the highway, please stay away from that this evening, because there's going to be plenty of traffic down there as it is. But police are going to be at the major intersections, making sure all the pedestrians walking to see the fireworks can get through safely, and there will be a very, very large police presence for this as well.
Okay, why was it important for your administration? It came up, and I had written stories about this in the past, about fireworks, no fireworks for the 4th of July. We know that Mercyhurst, for example, used to have the big show on their campus, made a decision not to have it there anymore. Why was it important for your administration to at least look to partner with somebody to do this?
Because it's basically important to the people of Erie, just based on the response we've gotten, again, which kind of blew me away when I realized how many people were excited about this and how many people have talked to me about it since the announcement. It's incredible. It's a great event. It's a family event too, and that's what we want to do more and more of. Good family events where you can take your kids, see something unusual and spectacular and worth seeing. It's just really exciting, and we're happy that Mercyhurst actually stepped up and said, hey, we're willing to pay for this. They associate themselves with fireworks, and my wife is a Mercyhurst graduate, and we would go up there for the fireworks, and it just got too big for their campus. They couldn't safely accommodate all the people that were coming up there. That's why, unfortunately, they had to stop doing it.
Is this something that you intend to bring to the city annually?
I would certainly hope we can. To be honest, we haven't talked with Mercyhurst about that yet, but it's certainly something. And just the way they associate their name with fireworks, I would certainly hope they'd be willing to continue this with us.
Somebody asked a question about boating. Will boats be able to go out onto the bay? And
very good question. And yes, boats will be available. The Coast Guard will be enforcing an area around the fireworks for safety's sake that you can't go in. But certainly boats anywhere out on the lake or on the bay are welcome to view this. Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Any other pertinent information about the lights over Lake Erie that we haven't touched on that you think people ought to know?
Yeah, let's talk about maybe some of the viewing areas. And right. Some of these are obvious. Some of them we've mentioned already, but Dobbins Landing certainly would be a great viewing area. But if you're planning to view it from there, you should park somewhere north of the Bayfront Highway and walk down. So it is south of the Bayfront Highway. South of the Bayfront Highway and walk down. It's going to be kind of a long walk as well, obviously. If you're going to view it from there, don't drive down there. There's going to be too much traffic on the Bayfront and north of the Bayfront on State there. Also, don't plan to park down there either. Again, park south of the Bayfront.
Are there going to be any other accommodation, shuttle services, things like that to reduce any of the congestion of the traffic?
Well, there is the shuttle service from the parking area to where 8 Great Tuesdays is at Liberty Park. So that's certainly a good possibility. You can take advantage of that. You can also park in public areas, and another good viewing location is public areas along the Bayfront. We've got some great restaurants. There's not going to be any food served as part of the event, but we've got some great restaurants where you'd be able to sit outside and watch the fireworks and have something good to eat and drink as well. The Bluffs, certainly along East and West Front Streets, are great locations, and that includes Bayview Park, which is there at Second Street between Cherry and Walnut. So that would certainly be good. And I mentioned earlier Presque Isle State Park. I think it's another great viewing location, especially the portion they say that's the west and east piers. If you go east from there over to the Perry Monument, that's a great viewing area for this as well.
Mayor, how's this being funded?
It's being funded totally by Mercyhurst. We really appreciate what they're doing and value their input, their participation in this with us.
Yes. When you said parking south, are like garages, metered parking?
Good question. Very good question. We basically do not use the Hammett garage because for health reasons they need that kept for people that are coming to visit or need to get down there for health reasons. So stay away from any other public garage, though, is certainly available. I mentioned earlier there's some handicap parking going to be available over at the convention center. There's some other parking. There's also a garage there where you may be able to park in. I don't see that getting a lot of use. Obviously, there'll probably be a cost for that to do that. Other parking areas in the city, you're certainly welcome to use and then walk down to the Bayfront. You certainly can park on any city streets, but again, make sure it's south of the Bayfront Highway.
Huge crowd, you said, at least expecting a sizable crowd. Have you tried to estimate what you think you're going to see in terms of number of people down there?
That's a good question, and we haven't done that. I don't really have a good feel for that, to be honest. What would be a big crowd? 20,000 jumps to mind, or 5,000, but we hope a lot of people come and see it. I have nothing to base that on. It's totally off the top of my head.
Okay.
But,
any extra patrols on Presque Isle? Is there going to be any traffic control?
Presque Isle, of course, is a state park, and they have their own law enforcement group over there, and I've actually met with them, not about this, but I've had some interaction with them, gotten to know them a little bit. I would expect they do, but I don't know that for a fact. I think they're going to be expecting more traffic than usual. Also, they typically close at sunset, I believe, but hopefully this evening you'll be able to be out there till after the fireworks and then leave.
Okay.
Somebody just asked too, I'm going to assume this person lives in the downtown area. Will you be able to watch from your house? Like some people be able to watch who are like...
I think some people would be. I know.
Okay.
I used to live on 24th Street. We had when I was a kid, we had a 3-floor apartment, and we used to watch fireworks taking place down in the bay from the 3rd floor window. And you can see them fine from there. So I'm sure there are other places you'll be able to see them from as well.
Mercyhurst is chiming in too and saying, we'd love to see crowds similar to the crowds we had in previous years, 4th of July celebrations at Mercyhurst. Let's make this a new tradition! ! So
sounds good.
Getting your support. So
Sounds very good.
And Mayor, I wanted to ask you too, just about fireworks in the city in general.
Okay.
Just the private citizens using fireworks in different neighborhoods. I got an email just this morning from a woman over in Glenwood Heights area who said that already, in her words, there's a lot of activity around 4th of July, sometimes it's like a war zone, in her words, over there in terms of the fireworks. Can you walk through? I know that we've talked to Chief Santone about the rules and regulations. Can you walk through not only the rules of private citizens using fireworks in residential neighborhoods, but what is the city's expectation on this in terms of safety? Is it something that when the police are called out, do they respond to those calls? Because there seems to be a lot of people out there who figure, well, it's the 4th of July, what are we going to do about it? And that's kind of the attitude of the city, and nothing really gets done with that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. And I have to say it's technically illegal to shoot off fireworks anywhere in Pennsylvania for 2 reasons. First is a state law that basically says you cannot shoot off fireworks within 150 feet of any building. And the second is a city ordinance that says it's illegal to shoot off fireworks in a city park. So it's hard to find a place 150 feet from a building that's not in a city park in Erie. I know a lot of people probably bought a lot of fireworks this year because of the new state law legalizing a lot of things, but I'd encourage you to find a place outside the city to shoot those off. The police certainly do try to respond. I live out in Frontier, and I can tell you that this time of year, sometimes it's hard to get to sleep. There's so many fireworks going off in the neighborhood. But this year I haven't really heard many, so I don't know if people are just kind of waiting till closer to the 4th of July. But typically, like the weekend before, you'd hear a lot, and I didn't hear much this year. And I don't know if that's an indication.
Is it a situation when you're talking about a holiday, when you're talking about people buying the fireworks that they buy to shoot off for, a neighborhood celebration or whatever? Is it something that can reasonably be enforced by the city?
I would have to say no to that, in terms of there's just so much of it that goes on, and the police's top priority is not necessarily fireworks going off, but assaults, robberies. Those things have to come first. Drug-related things going on, and unfortunately, there's still a lot of that in the area as well.
And if there's no way to reasonably enforce that, what do you say to the residents, like the email I got this morning, who worries about her pets, who worries about the noise, those kind of things?
Yeah, and I do hear a lot about pets as well, and people's dogs who run and hide under the bed when fireworks are going off nearby. All we can do is ask people to please try to comply. We can't have police at everything, and I'm just being honest when I say the police just will not be able to respond to every call about fireworks, but we do ask you to call the police non-emergency number with those things. Please don't tie up 911 with fireworks. That's for things that are life-threatening and really bad, so we can't tie up our 911 number with calls about fireworks. But call the police non-emergency number. I think it's 1125, 870-1125. Aaron will check that for me. Make sure I'm giving you that right, and we'll get it before the end here. We'll make sure we have the right number to tell you.
I would assume that a lot of the calls and the radio traffic around this time of year, those have to do with fireworks and some of the complaints and things like that.
I guess I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume that as well. Yes.
Mayor, somebody commented and said just about like illegal parking in residential neighborhoods and driveways being blocked and that kind of thing. Will police be able to, kind of just along the lines, police probably won't be able to patrol this, or just...
I think I certainly would hope people would respect and not park blocking someone's driveway.
Right.
But I'm sure the police will not be able to respond. There's a lot of that going on, as well as all the traffic and the pedestrian safety. And, it's we have to prioritize the most important things, and we certainly will do what we can to make sure people follow the laws as they exist.
The message is just be courteous and respectful of neighbors.
Yeah, why can't we all just enjoy it, respect each other, and have a good time as a community?
Right.
The police non-emergency number is 870-1125.
Okay, so that is the correct number. 870-1125 is the number we ask you to call with any type of non-life-threatening emergency that might be going on. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else that we need to know about the event?
I think we mentioned it starts at 10.
Yes, that actually somebody just asked that. What time will they go off, and how long will they be?
And it should last about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So probably about 10 to 10:15 is the time of it, and we had to make sure it's dark so you can see them well. And they're supposed to be pretty spectacular, from what I understand as well. We'd ask anybody driving that's not going to the fireworks not to go anywhere near the bayfront on tomorrow evening. Just stay away from that. It's going to be more hassle than you need. And people that are down there, as we were just talking about, we just ask you to please be patient, be courteous to others, just wait your turn and enjoy the evening. Make it an enjoyable evening for yourself and for others.
Do you want to mention Star 104 as well?
Oh yeah, thank you. There's music coordinated with the fireworks tomorrow night as well. Star 104 is doing that. They'll be broadcasting that live both at Dobbins Landing as well as at Liberty Park, so you'll be able to hear the music along with the fireworks. And if you're not in one of those locations, just tune to 103.7, is that right?
Yep.
FM, 103.7 FM, Star 104, and you'll be able to have the music going while you're watching the fireworks. I think that'll make it even more enjoyable.
This is a good question. Will the heavy lights get shut off along the bayfront for a better view, or do you have any control over that?
I'm not sure. That's not a question that we've been asked. We don't have control. I know the state controls the Bayfront Highway. It's technically a state road.
Yeah, and just for traffic and pedestrian safety, we'd need those lights on.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I've viewed fireworks in the past, and the light on the Bayfront's never gotten away of it. I think they get up high enough that it doesn't really distract from it at all.
What kind of, you already kind of gone over this, but what kind of traffic are you expecting? How much time should people expect to get in and to get out?
I would say, we're expecting a lot of traffic. I would allow a lot of time. You may be lucky and get out quickly. Some people will, but it may be an hour. Particularly if you have a long walk back to your car, and then when you get there dealing with the traffic, it's kind of hard to guesstimate at this point.
If you're driving in general, what kind of configurations will people see in terms of traffic control after the event is over? Will there be officers directing traffic? Will there be certain routes that you're trying to get people out of that area to kind of move things?
Yeah, there will be officers at the main intersections directing. I think we'll try to get people south to 12th Street or other cross streets rather than everyone going to Bayfront Highway, because that would probably take forever.
Okay, I'm going to just scroll through this. Anything else you want to add about it, Mayor? While I'm scrolling through.
Yes, thank you. Again, Liberty Park is a good location to watch from. There's a lot of parking on city streets around there, and you will be able to hear the music from Liberty Park. That's coordinated with the fireworks. See if there's anything else I missed. Don't forget about 8 Great Tuesdays, the first night for that as well. It'll be a great evening if you get down there about 6:30. 8 Great Tuesdays. We'll go to just about 10, and then you'll be able to turn or go somewhere else and watch the fireworks and just have a great family evening.
All right. Okay. I think that's it. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Thanks, Mayor, for joining us on this.
Thanks for having me.
I think it was pretty informative for people, and I guess we'll see you on tomorrow night for the big event.
Excellent. Look forward to it.